Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Committee Reads. I am your host, KWCs, and with us participating today, we have Alex, Nagoda, and Joe. With Birdman sitting in the sidelines listening in for tonight. Today's match, we're going to focus on Match 102, Orga vs. Mothra by Joshua Reynolds. Millions of miles past the Earth, a great meteor-like object approached. To a person looking through a telescope, it would look like any ordinary meteor, but inside the rock, a metallic weapon resided. The pilot inside turned around, and even in the darkness of the room, the screen in front of it was clear. An orange square continued to zoom in until it saw what it was waiting to see. Earth. Another zoom and it could see Japan. One final zoom showed its target, Tokyo. The alien let out a grunt as its long tentacle reached out and pressed against the silver panel. Alright, I guess that's how that works. The meteor then seemed to speed up, and in a blink of an eye, its velocity increased to nearly light speed. It's a little fast. Inside the ship, the alien leaned back in its pod. It looked exactly like the one that had awoken on Earth in 1999. Its mouth was a series of lines with its eyes glow a bright blue. That's phrased a little weird. The body was almost squid-like, but the color was a grayish blue. An agent from its home world had failed to accomplish its mission in 1999, but now this new one would make sure the Earth was his. His race had succeeded in creating an artificial organizer G1, allowing it to turn to Orga at will. Convenient, but alright. On Earth, okay, one. Oh, shit. Two. Okay, there we go. On Earth, telescopes didn't have time to see the ship approaching, but as it had already passed Mars. Oh, okay. Miles away on an island in the Pacific, two fairies knew it was coming. Their great god had defeated the first many years ago in the age of the dinosaurs and was prepared to take on this new one. The god was a gigantic insect, non-specifying by the way. Not frightening like many others just because it's stiff and fluffy, but rather quite beautiful. It's
stiff and fluffy.
Man, I wish there was a way you could post GIFs into the freaking video, because I would just show that right there.
Look, I think there's an actual video of that you could implement.
Oh, I probably can. Anyway. Their great god had to... Oh, wait. Not frightening like many others, but rather quite beautiful. Its segmented body was covered in fur, ranging from white to black to red. Two large bulbous eyes peered through the air. Its head was tipped with two antennas, with two mandible-like appendages below the mouth. Its body was like that of a giant moth. Its wings were patterned with beautiful markings. The deity was Mothra, the great goddess of Infant Island, protector of the earth. Already she was alerted of the aliens coming, and was already gathered her energy for the showdown. Pass.
The alien looked on as his ship entered the atmosphere above Earth. The rocks that disguised the ship were melted away and vaporized by the intense temperatures. On the streets, people had begun to flee in every direction as the ship plummeted downward. Cries of terror could be heard, and soon all was silent. A mushroom cloud of dust floated to the heavens as the ship crashed into the center of the metropolis. The buildings around it began to fall inward from the impact, and windows of structures all around shattered. The ship was broken in two. The alien inside, however, was uninjured, apparently. Already, the chemicals inside his body given to him by his superiors were taking effect. The creature began to morph, and soon a lumbering giant towered over the buildings surrounding him. I mean, there are no buildings, but still. Miles away, Mothra's gigantic wings flapped once, twice, 3 times, a storm of dust and dirt filling her cave. Another flap, and she was above the ground, and with the next, she was out of the opening above her, and in the air, and on her way to protect the earth. Mothra's mouth let out a chirp. It wouldn't take long for her to get there. Pillars of smoke filled the entire area. Tank and jet fire could be heard from the entire city, but the earthling weapons proved futile against the giant. As Orga's massive bulk slammed into another building, the new Masonry battalion entered the fray. Bolt after bolt of blue energy slammed into his hide, but what damage was done was quickly healed. Orga's massive hands slammed down on the weapons, shattering them like glass. As the dust and smoke cleared, he could see something approaching in the air. The beast's maw opened and closed once, staring at the oncoming object. Not a second later, the entire ground around Orga erupted into showers of sparks and smoke as 2 beams of energy lashed from the foe's antenna. Mothra lowered closer to the ground, gaining even more speed. Mothra rammed headfirst into the alien, knocking him back and causing him to tumble into a building behind him. A black cloud of smoke engulfed the area, and Mothra pulled up, her wings releasing bolts of electricity into the rubble in hopes of frying the alien. Pass.
Mothra's assault came to an end as dust cleared. The moth beat her wings 100 yards away from the heap of rubble, just waiting for movement. Seconds turned to minutes, and it seemed the ogre was defeated. Mothra's head lowered, but just as it did so, the rubble exploded outward. The insect's head reared back and Mothra tried to fly upward, but it was too late. Mothra was blasted back as Orga's shoulder cannon slammed her through building after building. The beam stopped and Orga lifted himself out of the rubble. Orga's body moved side to side, shaking off the chunks of debris. Slowly but surely, the alien moved through the city and to the downed Mothra. Her left wing had a hole at the tip. Shut up.
I remember what it's like.
Anyway,
But it was not damaged enough to remove her flying abilities. The alien's hands reached down and gripped Mothra by her wings. A crunching noise could be heard as Mothra's mouth clamped on two of Mothra's legs. The great deity screamed in agony and soon confusion as Orga's head started to become furry. And it seemed...
I thought that was... Never mind, keep reading.
Gosh darn it, KWCs, Orga is not a furry.
I remember, because the only good furry is a dead furry.
Oh!
Make sure you do your part today.
Did you see, if there were furries on the Sonic movie team, it wouldn't look as bad.
You know he's not wrong
Well, maybe-
about that. Anyway.
Maybe they are furries, and that's why they made him like that.
Anyway, keep reading. I thought that was
Okay.
like Orga's head started to become fury. I thought that was a typo because of like match 3 where it was like Descadora's furry. I thought that was a typo. I didn't realize that was legit.
KWCs,
It's all connected.
stop making kaiju into furries.
Stop telling jokes!
Oh fuck. Oh shit, oh fuck. Orga started to become a furry, and it seemed 2 antennae were growing from his head. His eyes became bigger and bluish, and the fur that formed began to turn white. Mothra struggled, and soon the moth screamed in pain. The third tug having broken both the legs that Orga held onto. Orga's jaws clamped down even more, and soon the appendages were in his maw entirely. The beast's entire body was now covered in a thick layer of white and gray fuzz. It seemed his back was forming wings. In a last-ditch effort, Mothra flapped her wings and flew back. A snapping sound could be heard as Mothra slammed herself back first into a building. Orga leaned his head back, swallowing her legs whole, but the DNA was not enough to sustain his transformation, and the Mothra traits retreated back into his body. Mothra chirped in pain as her stumps oozed a green goo. Mothra flapped her into the air. With a few flap of a storm of golden scales began to surround the area. Orga's shoulder began to glow, and the cannon fired. It seemed as if the scales caught the beam and redirected it downward, blasting the shoulder that the cannon was housed in. Orga's flesh rained to the ground, but already it was healing. After a few seconds, the wound was healed, but the cannon was not. Mothra's wings released more of the scales, and her wings released dozens of lightning bolts. Orga's flesh burst off in several areas as bolt after bolt impacted it. It did not take long for Orga's healing to take care of the damage done, and his massive hand reached up and gripped Mothra by the abdomen. With a screech, Mothra's body slammed against the rubble-covered ground. As Orga's left hand held her down, his right hand raised up. Mothra released a cry of pain as the fist slammed down on her thorax. Again it slammed down, and then again, and again. Each slam caused Mothra's body to cave in slightly, forcing spurts of goo from her mandibles and severed legs. Pass.
Fuck. Alright. Orga's hand lifted up again and opened up, exposing the sharp claws on the ends of his massive fingers. Pain as Orga's claws tore into the right wing, shredding it like a sheet, where green slime was slung about as Orga dragged his hand down the tip of the wing. Massive appendage was shredded like paper, and Mothra screamed in agony as Orga repeated the process on her other wing. Mothra's eyes seemed to become dimmer as death drew upon her. With his foe nearly dead, Orga gripped Mothra by the abdomen towards his maw. Orga's mouth seemed to unlatch like a snake. Slowly, the skin around it engulfed Mothra, hooking onto her and pulling her in. As he did so, Orga's body morphed and started to become insectoid. His eyes once again became big, round, and blue. A pair of antennae emerged from the skull, and his body once again grew the white and gray fuzz. A pair of Mothra-like wings formed on his back, and his back slimmed down. Soon only Mothra's head could be seen in Orga's giant asshole. The alien's asshole clumped shut like a bear trap, and from a mile away a large crack could be heard as Mothra's head exploded inside the demon's mouth. The transformation was complete, though. Alien had become not only his Orga form, but had gained traits of Mothra as well. Massive hand slammed on the ground. Now was the time to track down the creature that defeated his brother in 1999. Winner, the writer.
Okay, that was good. So, Alex, do you remember how you said 101, that like matches like 101 are, like matches like those were considered the golden standard for the KWC back in the day? You remember?
Oh, how average was the golden standard?
Yes. You know that even back then, this match was hated?
Oh, was it?
Yes!
Okay, good.
Oh, man.
Good.
Even back...
Good.
Yeah,
good.
This one,
I understand why.
Oh, yeah, this one's pretty... even for an MM match, this one's weak. Oh.
Yeah.
Sucks donkey dick.
Honestly,
Yeah.
the only distinctive highlight I will lean to its credit was kind of like the initial attempt Orga tried to transform but then couldn't. That was a little bit neat. The fact that I was like, oh, he's starting. Oh, he doesn't have enough.
No, that's the only thing people remember about is Orga just gaining traits.
Yeah, that's it. Everything else is weak. Ah, man. Wow, I cannot believe how weak this is. Like, this is even weaker than I remembered it being. Free. Oh man, this. Yeah, I do not like. I do not like this as a KWC match. I do not like this as an match, and that's saying something.
Well, what do you expect? matches are garbage.
And that's a fact.
The best. There are two. Well, minus the Orga trait thing, there are only two good things about this match. Unironically.
That's being generous.
One is the banner. I like the.
Yeah, the banner's cool.
The banner has it like it's a little high in the contrast with the city, but I think it kind of creates an interesting atmosphere. Two is the sequel.
Oh yeah, sequel's a lot.
Oh yeah.
The sequel that comes after this, not written by but our beloved Harley. An amazing continuation.
Only problem with that banner is that Orga doesn't have the Mothra traits.
Right. It's just kind of colored. It's more Mothra colored than Mothra traits, but that's because Greyshot made the banner. Had it been Ditto, we could have gotten
Greyshot.
To be fair, I still like Greyshot's banner. I just wish he could have made Mothra Orga look like Mothra Orga, but yeah, friggin' yeah, this one's weak. Oh my gosh. Never mind the minor errors I noticed going forward. Like I think sometimes it went to present tense. Other times it used affected instead of effected. And I'm like, ugh. Never mind that. Yeah, this is not a good match at all. Nagoda, what'd you think of it? Apparently Birdman ran away.
Wait a
So bad,
Hold on.
Birdman. It turned
Hold on.
Birdman off.
Hold on. Hold on 1 fucking second.
Okay.
102, 202.
Oh my
Guys notice
gosh!
Wait.
Did match 2 suck?
I don't think match 2... Well, match 2 wasn't though. So, yeah.
Yes.
We need to stop him before 302.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Remember, kids, make sure you don't get 02 and 64.
Apparently, 02 and 64. No, we just had...
Especially don't get CO2.
Hey!
But I'm just...
But yeah, we just have to make sure...
302 is gonna be his worst one yet. They keep getting progressively worse.
It's like AIDS.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. That is a hilarious freaking coincidence, but that will be for the future. Okay, Nagoda, what'd you think of 102?
It was not good, but it took a long time to actually get to the match, like the fighting part of the match.
Yeah, I agree with you. That actually...
There was a fight.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. There wasn't a fight. There was a slaughter.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't even say it's a slaughter. I thought it was just Orga getting a meal. Like going to his favorite fast food joint and ordering the mom special.
Yes! Which came to him.
But unfortunately, the chefs didn't cook it all the way, so she was still alive and he had to fight his dinner. See, folks, I just made the match a lot better.
Yes, you did! This is the free course meal before the main course. This is the free appetizer before the main course. Oh my gosh. As you were saying, Nagoda. Oh man, that was good.
Yeah, that was about it. It's not good.
Joe, what did you think?
I think it was duty. I think my biggest problem with this match was so one-sided. And that's the problem with a lot of matches. But with those matches, there's at least a fight.
Mm-hmm.
There is.
I know
Somewhat.
Alex doesn't wholly remember, but there are at least some. I don't know. There is just something about the setup to this particular match that feels really weak. There was something.
And
Yeah.
what all happened in this match was Mothra shot Orga with her beams, and then she got the shit kicked out of her. Then she got free. Then she started getting a little good. Got killed. And it just feels too unnecessarily cruel.
I think.
And
sorry to interrupt you, man. But I think that was the other reason this match got a lot of hate back in the day too, was because at this point I don't think Heisei Mothra had even won.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, yeah, she was on a losing streak. So this,
and that's just,
this match did not.
So it'll just be rubbing the salt in the wound.
Pretty much.
Remember, guys, giant butterfly bad.
Giant butterfly bad, big lizard good. Giant monkey bad, big lizard good.
Yeah.
Monkey.
Giant pteranodon bad, big dragon good.
Oh my gosh.
I think the only good thing was Orga transforming.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. This match blew asshole. This match was awful.
Alright.
Well, not awful, but like it was bad.
Oh yeah. Alex, what'd you think?
I'm not further because Mothra lost. I had Mothra lose one of my matches, but it was so unnecessarily one-sided and mean. I don't want to say mean, but it was fucking mean. Too much. Like, too mean.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all.
Alright. Alex, what'd you think of 102? Though I'm pretty sure you're gonna... whatever.
Well, to quote our good friend Ditto, this made SpaghettiOs look like Olive Garden.
Oh, man.
I think I would rather read Pride of Baggin over this.
Ah! You sure about that? At least this one's shorter.
That's true, but it's...
They even out, alright.
The difference is with Pride of Baggin, we at least got joy. This is just painful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is one was a ripoff of Beauty and the Beast.
And one was just a poorly handled match.
Yeah, this sucked.
No, this wasn't a ripoff, but it was a prediction. This is exactly how the fight between the two Predators was in The Predator.
Fair enough, if you want to look at it that way.
Well, folks, that was another episode of the Committee Reads.
Yep.
This sucked. Bye.
We'll see you guys next time for match 103. Take care, folks.